We're live. Confirmed live on the interwebs. The good people of the world, it is your boy Gerard Michaels back again for Gerard Vs Evil. An incredible thing came across me on the interwebs today. Now, we've all felt how expensive things have gotten. Now, people try to gaslight you and say it's corporate greed. Government doesn't know about prices. Yeah, what do you think? 500 years of capitalism, they just figured out corporate greed now. We all feel it, but we don't really know exactly how bad it's been because they're constantly lying when it comes to the economic numbers. But there's one industrious stoner who figured it out because he was too lazy to get his groceries. He ordered them online, went back through his search history, and check out what his grocery order was just 2 years ago. Pull it up, Chris.
This is telling me it was deleted, the post.
The post was deleted?
Yeah, look at that.
Oh, snap. Oh, snap. Well, I can tell you because the internet never forgets. He bought 45 items from Amazon and it cost him $150. When he went and clicked that little blue rebuy button, do you know how much it cost to rebuy those same items 2 years later? $420. 150 to 420 in less than 2 years. I'm a single dude and I make pretty good money and I can barely get by. I have no idea how you great people out there with families, with people who count on you are getting by. That's why we're doing this thing, because they're trying to gaslight us. They're trying to memory hole everything, trying to be like, it's not that bad. You're always complaining. No, it is that bad. And they're the ones that are making it bad. And we got a big debate coming up in 2 days. We're going to talk all about it. But enough from me. We've got some lovely guests from the White Collar Kids podcast, Jersey girls themselves, Amanda and Megan Merlot, everybody.
What up?
Hello.
What's happening? What's happening? How are you girls? Now, look, we have 3 criteria here, both at Slick and Thick and Gerard versus Evil. You either have to be cool, you either have to be hot, or you have to be from Jersey. You guys nailed at least 2 of those 3. So, I mean, that's awesome. Welcome to have you guys on. How are you? Tell us a little bit about yourselves.
Thanks for having us.
Nice.
Yeah, thank you
Anytime.
so much for
My
having
pleasure.
us. There was some bad news. Something went up to 420.
426, I think it was, yeah.
Oh,
Oh, you got excited? You're a weed girl, is that right? You're like,
Perhaps.
perhaps. That's nice. So yeah, the groceries were $150 2 years ago. Now I know when you're a good-looking girl from Jersey, you don't buy anything for yourself, so you probably don't know how bad it is out there. But for the rest of us in the purchasing world, it's pretty difficult out there.
That's not true.
What? That is not difficult, or I should,
No.
We
We
know.
do buy our own groceries.
Mhm.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
it's on our dad's credit card, but it's still expensive.
now,
Okay,
now you
that's
feel
true.
bad. Now you just feel bad. Sorry, Daddy. Sorry.
Sorry, Dad.
Oh,
Whole Foods
I'm
went up a bit.
sorry that I spent $300 at Whole Foods.
You spent $300 at Whole Foods? You're 67 pounds. What did you buy? Before
I-
Joe Biden's economy, in fairness, before Joe Biden's economy, she looked like, one of them fat bitches before Ozempic. You know what I'm saying? She was like 250 pounds before Joe Biden took office. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe Joe Biden took office and was like, I've been on this earth for 80 years and I'm sick of fat bitches. I'm going to make everything so expensive.
I'm sick of them too.
Yeah. Well, didn't work, Joe.
That's
didn't
the
work.
one thing Joe and I could agree on.
Really? You
Yeah.
sick of the fat bitches?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why?
Yeah. Go to the gym.
Mm-hmm.
Go to the gym, eat clean,
Yeah.
and you won't be fat.
So you're not like one of those like body positive type people. You're not like one
Absolutely
of those that like.
not.
What'd you think of the heavy broad that won the Alabama body positivity pageant?
Get skinny.
Get skinny. That's it. Just get skinny. That's good advice. That's good. Mick says that to me every day. He wakes me up with like a nice tickle on my nose and goes, "Today's the day to get skinny."
Megan feels bad that she wasn't obviously invited to any afters because that's how you get skinny in her world.
Oh, yeah.
So weed and coke. Got it. Okay, cool. So now
That's
everybody
good.
knows everything they need to know about Amanda and Megan.
No
Tell-
need for Ozempic.
Not anymore.
Yeah. So tell us about the White Collar Kids podcast that you girls have started.
Much like yours, we just speak about what we feel. There's a lot of no nonsense. We're obviously from the East Coast. I feel like there was a little bit of some lack in the market podcast wise when it comes to speaking truth, speaking against systems, free speech. As you know, that's like super,
Mhm.
something very important to you. So it's really important to us. We've gone through some stuff in the last couple of years, hence the white collar. Stay tuned. But yeah, there's a huge shift in our country, and our own systems that should be working for us are working against us.
Yeah,
So
and
that's a
no,
big.
I couldn't agree with you more. And to that point, there was actually a huge Supreme Court ruling that came down today that basically made it legal for the government to collude with tech companies to censor citizens. Um, 2 days after Julian Assange was let out after 5 years in prison for being right, by the way, Julian Assange's crime was that he was right and that he exposed remarkable amounts of corruption and grift. And also, Hillary Clinton was exposed as saying, why don't we just kill him? Like, we can't just drone strike this guy. Nothing's ever happened to her. That's a, you know,
Yep.
that's he's not an American citizen. I believe he's Australian, but his big crime was that he exposed the regime's corruption. And he did 5 years in prison for that. And now today, the tech companies admitted in the Supreme Court that they colluded with the White House and our federal government to censor American citizens, to censor our voices. And the Supreme Court said it was okay. It was legal. So, I mean, when we're talking about freedom of speech, when we're talking about the First Amendment, I don't know when it happened and I don't know why it happened, but it's us, and it's really, you girls are a little younger than me. It's your generation that doesn't really seem to really give a shit about it, frankly. Like people think of free speech as just like like it's free speech as long as it's nice speech.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or it's free speech as long as I agree with it. And it's something I don't know. Why do you think that is with your generation? Why do you think your generation isn't as like gung ho as for free speech? Definitely not like the older generations. Our generation, I guess, is transitional. But with you guys, it seems like people are okay with censorship.
It's a combination. I think it's like comfort. I think it's conditioning, of course, public schools, colleges.
Mhm.
I was very much brainwashed when it came to. We're 4 years apart. I was in school during Occupy Wall Street. I also, I'm a media personality. I spent some time in LA. I'm a New York girl. So
So you
across the
check all the boxes to
country,
be like a woke liberal leftist chick.
yeah, but I've also checked the boxes. I love meeting people and I love hearing both sides. It's always been a thing of mine since I'm a child. And it's pretty interesting to see that not only is there no listening to the other side, you don't get to speak on the other side.
I think that's a
You
left thing. I think the right lets
Oh,
people speak.
oh,
And I'm not
100%.
sitting here like trying to like defend the right at all times,
No.
but I don't like the argument that gets made in today's world where it's both sides, guys, both sides. No, it's not. And I think it doesn't do anybody any benefit to say that it's both sides. It's not both sides. Both
It's
sides aren't canceling people. Maybe
yeah.
they would want to, but both
Mhm.
sides don't have the power.
And I
Mhm.
The
think
right has no power. The right doesn't have any colleges. The right doesn't have any media. The right doesn't have any movies. The right doesn't have any
exactly.
music.
Yep.
Maybe the right would want to, but they just don't. It's all coming from one side,
Yeah.
really.
And I think there was a point for me too where I was able to kind of see both sides. And at this point in time, so many things have become so extreme
Hmm.
that I can't really say, hey, now I agree with one side versus the other, and I think, similar to Amanda, I went to school in New York City, and my first election was Trump against Hillary. So
Mm.
that was the first time I was able to vote. And there were kids that were in my classes that were pretty much, they were excused for not showing up to class when Trump was elected the
Really?
next day. And I just am so curious that if it was reversed, would that work?
Oh my God, no.
Like what would be acceptable,
Yeah.
And I went to a private school in New York City, a private college in New York City, and it was just so like you couldn't even express your opinion or who you vote. I was actually like scared to say who I voted for.
Opinion. You couldn't even ask questions to figure out which side. You're a
Yes.
young person. You couldn't even see which side would change my future. Just playing devil's advocate. Like, same with me in the broadcasting world. I studied under Marky Costello.
The Marky Costello?
I don't know, Abbott and Costello's great granddaughter who chain smokes and is very unhealthy and
I
overweight.
love. I
but,
just no. I'm not.
um,
I'm making fun of it because like there's always that's such like an LA
Yeah.
thing. Like I studied in the
Ooh,
Gorman
the-
Yeah,
school.
well,
So I
she's
was.
allegedly the person to study under, but she didn't teach me a damn thing about what I needed to know in front of the camera
Mhm.
as a media personality. It was, um,
Your experience was actually interesting to
It's
me.
interesting.
Yeah.
I was told to get the F off the stage.
Mm.
And I wasn't promoting any sort of agenda because I didn't have an agenda. I was 20 years old or so, not interested in politics, to be honest. I want the best for this earth, best for animals, and the
Mhm.
best for people. And that's all I cared about at that point in my life. And we were on a panel similar to this set. It was called Poptics, similar to like The View, if you will. It was very much like a pop culture politics women's panel. And everyone was at that point, I think it was 2016, 15, so an election time. And there was no fun debate to see like, okay, these are the two candidates and this is what we have in front of us. These are our choices. It was simply bash this person
Mhm.
and his hair and his spray tan.
Good versus evil. Good versus evil. Like you can't
Yeah.
like somebody for their political and
No.
that really started before that though, honestly. That
Yeah.
was the beginning. The beginning of this, and this is just the benefit of being a little bit older. Politics took a very, very, very dramatic change in America, specifically in Obama's second term. When Obama was running for re-election,
Yes.
then it became impossible to have any sort of, nuanced debate where it's like, I don't believe in universal healthcare. Oh, you're a racist. Whoa, okay. Well, that's a hell of a leap.
Yeah.
Like, so there's no disagreement. You just either go along, you become obedient, or you are the worst thing a human can be. You're a
100%.
racist, you're a sexist, and again, don't forget, this was in 2020. When Trump was running for re-election and Biden was up against Trump, and it was 50-50 at the end, they didn't know, what were the cities doing? Do you guys remember what the cities were doing in 2020?
In 2020?
2020, we were still in lockdowns. Businesses were boarding up.
Well, I was
Yeah.
in New York City at that time.
Yeah.
I was back and forth actually between Florida and New York at that time. And I remember New York City was an absolute madhouse
Yeah.
with violence. And it was scary to be there.
Yeah.
I had my car. I had a boyfriend at the time that lived in New York City, and I would go see him all the time there. And I was worried, is my car going to get, basically robbed or whatever? It was just absolute
over.
madness and flipped
Yeah.
over. It was insane.
Well, it was the quote unquote summer of love, which was hilarious that's what and our racial reckoning. And now it turns out with almost irrefutable evidence, those protesters were all organized by paid protest organizations, and a lot of those
Yes.
protesters were paid for. And we know the group that paid them, right? So now these people, so there's one thing to have free speech, but there's another thing. You could pay to destroy other people's businesses, to make people unsafe to walk down the streets, to have people feel like that their neighborhood is a fucking war zone.
Yep.
You mean
know-
Trader Joe's on fire wasn't like a part of
Yeah. So you're mad at the government, right? You're mad at the government for what the government has done. Systemic racism, the government did that, right?
And
Cops are
rightfully
beating up
so.
black people. Okay.
Rightfully
That's
so.
the government. That's the government, right? I don't know. Rightfully so. I don't agree with that. That's the government that's doing that. Okay. It's not the people, right? This whole idea of white people are racist. The cop works for the government. That's a state. So then you turn around and tell people, this is horrible. The state is messing up. We need to make the state stronger, centralize everything. It never made sense from the beginning, right? And now we know that it was bought and it was paid for. And those people that were boarding up their windows, those people that were putting up the signs outside their businesses that said, I'm a single mom, this is all I have, please.
It's
right?
heartbreaking. It's absolutely
They
heartbreaking.
weren't doing that in case Trump lost.
No.
They weren't afraid of the evil MAGA Nazis coming through their
You
streets
know what? I'm
and lighting
actually
the Trader
glad
Joe's
that you
on
brought
fire.
that up because you and I agree on a lot of things, but I didn't actually look at it that way. So I like that you kind of opened my eyes to that perspective.
Who's the good guys and the bad guys?
Yeah.
We're always the devils, they're always the angels. We're always the bad guys, they're always the good guys. They always go to moral equivalence.
Right.
As soon as you start talking about, look, I lived under Biden for 4 years, I lived under Trump for 4 years. I liked $2 gas and $3 eggs. Let's just put it there. Immediately they're like, oh, cheap eggs are worth voting for a racist and a rapist. And it's like, wait, dude, what?
Oh
Like
my
this is so again, it's like, I'm a good person. That's when it boils down to that. They don't care that we're starting 3 wars. They don't care about generational inflation.
Well, I think it
They're
goes to
good
the thing
people.
of where it's like on one party, we ignore all of the bad things that are being done.
Mhm.
And then with another party, we just want to expose all the bad things that are being done.
Mhm.
So
Perfect example, Biden, if he had peace with Russia or China or North Korea, it would be amazing. He'd be this peacemaker. He'd be historic.
Correct.
Trump is cool with people we,
Yeah,
are
and he's a
little-
traitor. He's a Russian puppet, and it's Russian disinformation. And again, I sit here and I'm just my goal of this is not to be like, yeah, Trump. There's a lot of things
No.
that Trump does, and I'm just like, dude, stop. Where were you? Like, you're a moron. What? Like,
Yeah.
why was it Biden that had to free Julian Assange? Like, why do we not know about the JFK files? Why didn't you drain the swamp? There's a ton of things about Trump, but what I don't like is how deeply. Now, I'm also scared. I'm going to be honest with you, because Biden didn't campaign in 2020. He stayed in his basement,
Mhm.
and he had 16 people at his rallies, and he got 81 million votes. What's different this time? Why won't they just do the same thing they did last time? How is it going to be different?
It's a great question.
See, that's what scares me. What scares me is that the left, or whoever you want to call them, the globalists, the elites, they don't seem concerned. They don't seem concerned that literally everybody.
well, they also have illegal immigrants coming into this country that
A lot
are
of good votes.
Yep.
You believe that that's, I mean, that's a big conspiracy out there. You believe that that's behind what all of this migration issue is?
Part
I think
of it.
part of it, yeah. Yeah. I think some of it for sure.
Chris, if you could pull this up, somebody, my boy Dan Holloway from the Drinking Bros, you guys should definitely follow him if you're not already. And obviously, guys, if we have more people than we normally have here, but they're doing great, aren't they? They're doing fantastic. Let them know in the comments how awesome they're doing. Let them know, like, you pretty much expected them to just be, pretty good looking girls who didn't know shit. They're pretty smart, as it turns out, huh? So
Oh, I thank you,
They,
Gerard.
they thought
shut up, broad.
otherwise.
Shut. Get back in the kitchen. Anyway,
Hey, easy there.
she's like, kitchen. What is
Let
this
me ask you
word? I've never
something.
been in the kitchen a day in my life.
Oh, just my housekeeper.
Kitchen. I've heard my butler go in there.
That's what got me kicked out of New England. I never stepped foot in my kitchen. I wasn't, we
A
never
good
will.
wife.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sorry.
she got kicked out of there. Like,
Oh, really?
Oh.
Mhm.
You're not into the whole trad wife thing. Then you guys are not doing the
I'm
whole.
not sure yet.
You're not
Perhaps
sure
for
yet.
the right person.
Perhaps for the right person.
Mhm.
As 30 starts creeping on you, you're like,
been there.
maybe trad wife. I don't know.
yeah, no.
Let me ask you something, Gerard.
I'll be honest though.
Mhm.
I don't want to work anymore. Like,
That's not in this economy.
Yeah.
That's
No, this is great.
You
I want
need to work 2 jobs.
I 100%.
I need to work 2 jobs. I want to work 0.
I want to 100% get into this because I had this conversation with my sisters. Chris, if you can, while we're having this conversation, look up. There was a flyer. Now they're saying that this is a hoax and it's not real, and other people are saying no, the hoax is bullshit, and that this is. So let's people make your own decisions on this. But there is a flyer in the porta potties by the migrant camps. By the migrant camps before coming across our border, reminding people when they get across the border to vote for Joe Biden, because without him, they
Yeah.
won't be able to cross the border. If you can look up that flyer, and then we can discuss it and see whether we think it's real or not. But Amanda, you had a question first, and then I want to get back to what you were talking about, Megan.
I forgot my question because the porter potty thing reminds me of a really good, really amazing party. We
An amazing party.
Yes,
yeah,
okay,
it was
let's
the
go.
Johnny
Where
Ramone
was it?
tribute. We were at the Hollywood Forever Cemetery. It was a
Oh,
movie night.
yeah.
He's a horror fanatic, so I'm a horror fanatic. And my sister came with me. She wanted to go to the Justin Timberlake concert instead. We go to this Johnny Ramone tribute. She's hanging out. John Frusciante, the guitarist from the Chili Peppers.
Oh, who doesn't?
He's been underground for a million years. Like, and spot him. It's like seeing Bigfoot. You see him in public and it's unreal. And like everyone from Brazil is like, we saw him in Venice
A
Beach.
porta potty made you
70
think of this.
Yes, believe me when
She'll
I
get
tell you.
there.
Okay.
I'm in awe at who's at this party. This is Vincent Gallo. All of my fucking men are there. And I look over across the way and I see John Frusciante, which is again like seeing Bigfoot. And my sister and him are cracking up, having the time of their lives, like laughing.
Mind you, he's
I'm
like such an introvert.
He's a hermit, like he's socially very awkward. And she walks back to me and I said, "What the hell were you talking to John Frusciante about?" And she's like, "How nice these porter potties are."
Okay.
Like, yeah.
He was
So-
such a gentleman. He let me use the restroom beforehand.
Oh, I bet.
Okay.
I bet.
So back
yeah.
to porter potties. No, the question I had for you, honestly, before when
Chivalry
it
is
comes
not
to
dead.
Especially when you got a nice ass, Meg. Please, after you.
Yeah.
No,
And he
that's not
waited
what it
for me
was.
after to walk back to the
Enough.
party with.
Suction
Okay.
enough.
Isn't it amazing how nice guys are, Chris? The guy, I'm like this with everybody, right? The world that good-looking women live in compared to the world the rest of us live in is so different.
I
The
don't think it was
realities,
good.
the realities that we live in, and now you have your own
I
crosses
don't
to
even
bear.
think that it was because I'm a woman or like that I'm good looking, but I think I just pulled it out of him. I was like, "You're gonna speak to me, and you're
Yeah.
gonna have fun doing it."
Yeah, that's what it was.
She
That's
does
for
that
sure.
with everyone I have a crush on.
Is
It's
that
her
what it
thing.
was?
Mhm.
Oh, she finds out who your crushes are, reads your diary, and then says,
Pretty
I'm
much.
going
The
I'm going
diary.
after him.
Pretty
I break the
much.
shell and I let her know. Are they a good egg or a bad egg?
you taste test and then let her know which way to go.
I wouldn't say taste, but yeah.
My question for you,
Yes, please,
G,
yeah.
was when voting.
Mhm.
Back to my Megan's favorite movie, technically. Do you rather a leader with a heart,
Mhm.
with a brain, or with courage?
Well, ideally, it shouldn't be an either or situation.
Well,
I
ideally.
just like a leader with balls.
Yeah,
That would be
so-
courage.
So I think brain probably one, courage two. I think empathy is so overrated. My personal thing is that too many people think that their boss or their leaders should be people that they want to have a beer with or like want to go to the barbecue with, and that's not ideal leadership. Ideal leadership is, hey, this may be unpopular, but this is the right move, and I know it's the right move because I'm smarter than you and more well versed than you, and I've been through more things than you. We've created a system that people who have narcissistic tendencies and need to be liked go to politics, and
Yeah.
the need to be liked runs countercurrent to the need to do the right thing, because oftentimes the right thing is not the popular thing.
Sounds like comedians.
In what way?
I don't know. Need a little validation, a little love.
Oh yeah, for sure, absolutely. But at the
Just-
same time, like comedians become comedians because they're not good at other things. Actually, politicians. Maybe there's
Reminds
like
me
an
of
incredible
the
amount
School
of
of
parallels.
Rock quote when Jack Black's like, "Those that can do teach. Those who can't teach Jim."
exactly,
Kind of
dude.
all the same.
100%. Christian, you have it pulled up. So this is apparently the flyer that is in the porta potties at the migrant camps
Jeez.
before the undocumented Americans, the future citizens, come across. Now, what's odd about this, Christian, if you can read it, that'd be great.
I don't speak Spanish.
It's in Espanol.
Yeah.
There's no translation.
I couldn't find one, but it does say Biden here, so.
There's what that you got. I know one word. See if you can find a translation. But my understanding of this is that this says make sure when you get across to vote for Biden to keep the borders open. We wouldn't be able to do this, without this administration. Which is the most damning thing if it's true. Now we're being told it's a hoax, but we're being told it's a hoax by people that said that the Russian dossier was true. So it's impossible to know what's real and what's not.
Looks like we have to take a trip.
To the porta potties down in
Let's
down
go,
in
baby.
Mexico.
I heard they have tequila.
Anytime you guys want to go to Mexico,
I love a good margarita.
yeah, you can go by yourselves. I hate that place. Go to Colombia like adults and have a good time.
I just do south of France.
Oh, excuse me. I don't even think it's vacationing. Then I think it's called holiday once you go across.
It sure is. And
Yeah.
I need at least 2 weeks.
So you don't want to work anymore, right?
I mean, I like making my
First time. Hit the mics all you want, please. It's good for our listeners.
Where are we?
She doesn't want to work.
You don't want
I
to work.
don't want to work.
And you do work, though.
No,
you are a
I
hardworking
actually
girl.
enjoy working. I enjoy making my own money. That's, it's fulfilling to me.
Mhm.
That
And
is.
the Academy Award goes to Megan.
Oh, she's
Loving
full of
to
shit, huh?
work.
No, I actually enjoy what I do. However,
You
I think I
sell
should work-
elevators?
I do. I sell
who
the
wouldn't-
shit
who
out of
wouldn't enjoy that?
elevators. No, but it's good work. Okay.
No,
You know what?
no. I believe it. Listen,
You know what? Just like people need cars,
yeah.
people have like vertical transportation. Like there's
No,
levels. They
listen,
got to get up and down.
I am not talking shit. I just think it's so funny the way that you like presented it. Like, I love what I do.
I do. I genuinely do. However, I think I should have to work like 3 days a week versus 5
Mhm.
if I'm going to work at all. But that's just me.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, if I'm going in office, like who's paying for my nails, hair, makeup, my skincare? I mean, and then on top of it, my groceries here. Like, come on, guys. My rent,
Yeah.
my nice car.
Of course. Gotta have that.
Yeah, you have to. But yeah, no, I think I'd rather be I love to cook. So like I'm happy to cook for someone, just not clean.
Well, yeah, there's definitely something to that, right? So the idea of the trad wife, all this stuff is there seems to be so much confusion and angst amongst the generations and amongst the sexes because I think we all kind of recognize that the old ways weren't necessarily great or perfect, but now we've overcorrected so far that we realize, man, you know what? Maybe they weren't so bad either, right? So
They definitely weren't so bad. Like having to like look good, have dinner on the table,
yeah,
you know.
Where was the sweet spot? The 90s?
yeah, I think so. The 90s and the early 2000s. I mean, I think history's going to look at those as the Pax Americana for sure. But you know, it just I think it was just about being just feeling recognized, understood, and supported, right? Like somebody comes home and they work the 12-hour day and they pay the bills, and you know the wife is sitting at home and nothing's cleaned or nothing's done, or you know, you're like, oh my god, like what the fuck, like what am I doing all day? What are you doing all day? And the
Getting
opposite.
high with the Labrador?
Well,
Is that
there you
not
go.
enough?
That's not enough. No.
Well, my
No.
answer is I'm at the gym, I'm getting my hair done, I'm getting my nails done, and if you make that much money, honey, you better have a maid.
Sure. No, but the problem with that becomes if that is all that you're there for, that's when it becomes a situation where it's like, wow,
Are we going to bring up the
you
Volkswagen
are
girl? Like,
you
come
are
on.
you are a
Gotta
Lexus.
do that.
Absolutely. You are a Lamborghini. But after 3 years or 4 years on a Lambo, the lease is up. You can get a new Lambo.
Not this one.
Well, this is the problem with like it has to be something deeper. There has to be a reason that you know you come home to somebody because you feel a connection. You feel like
course.
this is your tribe, man. This is
course.
your family. This is, you know, this is your reason why. Because work sucks. Work sucks. Commuting sucks. I don't care what job it is. There are people who fuck for a living.
Yeah.
Who literally wake up and go, oh God, it's Monday. Like, you know, like when it's a job, it's a job. It sucks, dude.
Well,
So
okay,
I've
I guess I'm going to
Fuck
contradict
too.
myself a little here, but as much, all jokes aside, I mean, as much as I would love to not work, I actually did. I quit my job of 3 years and was fortunate enough to go to another job, but I had 2 weeks of a break, and I was actually very, very bored in that 2 weeks. So I think I do enjoy. I love work. I love to work. I love to earn my own money. However, I just think I should have to do it only like 2 days a week.
Well, everybody should. There's something to the 30-day work week. The idea that we're still working 40 hours is nuts. We have so much more output. If we look at it from a perspective of 40 hours a week 30 years ago, how much could if we look at it from a perspective of 40 hours a week 30 years ago, how much could you actually do? You were typing, you were manually doing instead. Now you're doing so much more, but you're still working for essentially less wages. Over inflation, we're working for less wages than they were 7 years ago. But how much more output are we doing? Our output is remarkable. So
And
something
I
does not
think
making sense.
for me at least, my experience, and I've actually vent to Amanda all the time on this, is that I went from a job where I created my own schedule and I worked from home. So my home was my office. So some days I'm making my schedule to be, you know, I'm out on the road 2 days a week, but 3 days a week are paperwork days, right? And those 3 days I get to be in sweatpants. I get to, and as a girl, you know, I'm not wearing makeup those days. I get to air out my skin a little
Oh,
bit.
so is that
It's
why women took to this remote work thing? Like,
Yes.
women
even that.
love
I'm not even
remote
joking.
work.
I'll be honest
It's
with you though.
expensive.
It's exhausting and it's
expensive.
expensive. It is. It's very
Skincare.
expensive.
Do you know what I spend on my? I mean, I work in the industry, but the skincare, the treatments that you get for it, the makeup,
I've never considered this.
Yeah.
I mean, your hair.
An outfit every day.
It's
And especially when you're working with other women, oh, they notice what shoes you're wearing, what
Mhm.
pants you're wearing, what dress you're wearing. Oh, I've seen that one before. And then it's kind of like, you know, it's you not I definitely don't want to say in competition, but it's pressure a little bit. I think as a woman, where guys, no offense, but it's like I wouldn't know if you wore that shirt on Monday versus, you know, and then
Mhm,
again on
mhm.
Thursday.
Because the probability is I wore it on both days. So,
But like I can't wear the same outfit.
well, you
like,
can.
in 1 week.
Guys don't give a shit.
He's like,
so it's
you
other
can
women.
as long as it's cut right. I wouldn't
She
mind
gets
you
it.
to.
She gets it.
Yeah, and I
And this is why she'll be invited back.
oh what
No.
what's wrong with me?
No, I'm messing. No, I'm talking about her tits. The
I don't have any to offer. I'm sorry.
No, I'm joking.
I have
Obviously,
no tits to offer.
your
I do
tits
have
are
some
great
booty,
tits.
but I am sitting on it, so
Fair enough. Yeah. But getting back serious, because this is actually, you girls made a really great point, and I've never once considered that, and I haven't even heard it really. So the remote work, in a way, outside of the freedom and not being able to commute, it actually saves you a ton of money. It's actually a huge
oh my
value add.
gosh. I've gone through if to be honest with you, if I broke down, and I kind of wish I did, if I broke down
Well, we got time. Break it down for me.
how
What do
many
you think it is?
times, so realistically, I was probably paying for full face of makeup, and I'm talking foundation, powders, you know, concealers, mascara in 3 months, right? Every 3 months I would pretty much need to like re-up on it, right? Now I have to do that probably every month and a half. And if you're anything like me, I don't buy from drugstores, right? I buy from department stores, or I like a little bit of the higher end
So it's
makeup.
doubled your cost.
Doubled my cost not only on makeup, but now on skincare.
Mm.
Because and I work a position where I'm in sales
When
and
you're in
business
sales, you have to look
development.
good, yeah.
So not only am I working from 8:30 in the morning to 5 o'clock at night, I have events and I have clients to see sometimes and take out to dinner after hours.
Is there a stipend from your job for this, or is this a tax write-off? Or
No,
really?
no.
So what
So
does
I'm
it what
going
does it
home
cost you every
sometimes
90
and
days? Do you
I'm
think?
I'm washing my makeup off with my expensive skincare and reapplying my makeup sometimes, and then going back out and then washing my face again at night.
What does
And
it cost you?
Yeah. What do you think it costs?
$220 for eyelash extensions. 75 for your nails to be filled in. Another
75,
I don't know.
I pay $120 just to get my nails filled, and if I want a pedicure, I guess 120 total. I get a pedicure and my nails filled at the same time.
Mhm.
I'm walking out easily, no tip, $120.
So $120 for nail care
every 2
Right.
weeks.
every 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks.
So let's do this by month. All right. So you were talking $240 a month for nails. Okay. How often do you get your hair done?
Every 3 months, cut and glaze.
All right,
If
how
we're
much is
being
that?
honest,
Little
now we're getting my
bitch.
whole routine.
I'm over 30. I'm getting a little baby sparkly gray.
She
Mm.
also has color,
weeks.
so it's
Every
different.
2 weeks.
And I'm a redhead, so that's even more upkeep, whatever.
So every 2 weeks is how much?
Over $200.
Every 2 weeks. So $400.
No, not every 2 weeks. But for the most part, yeah, over 100, 120 every 2 weeks.
Okay. So now we're 240. So now let's just say we're about $500 just in
And
hair and
that's
nails.
just and my cut and glaze, I'm at 220.
That's
Mhm.
not to mention the
Like-
mental stress of work. So I do acupressure, acupuncture, energy work, prana healing, Reiki healing. I take it a little bit
We
further.
should probably pick one of those.
Okay, how about
But-
Okay,
That's not
so
normal, but
Gerard and I really know each other and became great friends through pickleball, right? That's a free
Bow,
sport.
bow, free.
However, I don't just rely on pickleball for, my workout. I have a gym membership. I also like to take classes on things. For example, Pilates. A class, if I just pay for one class,
Mhm.
that's $40.
Yeah, okay. So now we're getting into different things here. There's the things that we want, and then there's the things that we need. I agree with you that I never really considered how much money women save by working remote. It was never really a thought of mine because again, I never had to do it. I never wore eyelash extensions and I have not bought mascara.
Not
So like
yet.
I don't, yeah, give
Yeah.
it some time. If I stayed a little longer in LA, maybe. So let's just say at the least amount, at the very least, $500 a month is $6,000 a year.
Mhm.
So basically
At
working
least.
remote gave women a $6,000 raise
Yeah.
in some ways.
Yeah. Because I'll actually say this. I took a job that paid almost 15 grand more a year. And
Theoretically, IRS. Theoretically.
so you
Hypothetically.
ass. No, I took a job that pays $15,000 more a year. However, I'm going to an office every day
Mm-hmm.
on top of going to everywhere else other than my office throughout the week. And I actually find I was living a lot more comfortably when I was making a little less than 15,000 a
Interesting.
year.
So the all-in increase was kind of a net even, break
Yeah.
even.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
It's something to consider. I mean, it's one of the things when when I first moved down from New York to Florida or Jersey City to Florida, I gave myself like a $20,000 raise just in taxes. But since then, and this is again, and this is we're going to finish it up with the Biden Trump debate. Why do politics matter? People are always like I get it. I totally get it. Politics is just reality TV with ugly people. I totally get it. It's
is.
gossip for people who think they're above gossip. But there is real life implications. And I don't really care much about Joe Biden other than his foreign policy drives me out of my mind. I don't want the hours of my life paying to kill people 3,000 miles away that I'll never meet. What does bother me, though, are things like inflation and when extremist policies, like I believe the climate policies are extremist policies in our country, and it
100%.
has real effect. So let's say for argument's sake, I make $1,000 a show and I'll do 2 shows a weekend, 50 weeks of the year. That's 100 shows. That's 100 grand. 10 years ago, a single man making 100 grand was good money. 100 grand is what we all need just to get by now. Just to pay the
Literally.
bills, it's what we need to get by.
100%.
So you used to fly out the day of a show. You do the show, check into the hotel at night. Maybe if you had back-to-back shows in different cities, you can get a rental car and leave, not even get into a hotel. Or there used to be midnight flights. There was red eyes you could take that are
Right.
gone.
Yep.
Now, because of Pete Buttigieg and these people's extremist policies that they implemented during COVID and have not changed, there's half the amount of flights. There's less flights, okay? The flights are twice as expensive. Used to cost $99. $99 to go from Miami to New York. All right, now I
Yes.
just took one was $400.
Yep.
It used to be $150 to $175 to get a good hotel room, a Marriott or a Holiday Inn, nothing crazy.
Just clean, safe.
Just now
It's
it's
normal.
just a Holiday Inn is like
Yeah.
$250.
It's insane.
So now because the flights don't take off on time, I have to fly out a day early. Okay, when
Yeah.
I fly out a day early, that means one extra hotel.
And let me ask you, not to interrupt
Sure.
you, but like how many times, because I could count on 2 hands, probably more, how many times I've taken a flight this year and something has been delayed or
Your
even
boyfriend.
canceled.
Yeah. So I can tell you on American specifically,
Slow people, no.
on American specifically, I had 17 out of 35 flights that were delayed at least 3 hours.
Right?
Yeah. So again, so I have to fly out a day early.
You have to
I can't
take that
fly. I can't.
into account. Yeah.
I can't risk flying out unless I want to take the 6 a.m. I can't risk flying out the day of and missing the show. Can't do it.
Exactly.
So now add 50 more hotel stays at $250, right?
Yep.
Now, inflation is up. I can't raise prices. So let's say between the hotels and the flights, they've added about $30,000 to $40,000 in travel expenses. So I'm making the same amount of money. I'm already struggling to get people to buy tickets because people have less money to have discretionary spending,
Right?
Mhm.
right? And now I got to pay $40,000 more. This is why politics matter. This is why
do.
these things matter. I'm
Oh,
sitting
yeah.
here just going like, please, my God, like let me
And,
fly.
and to be honest
Stop.
with you,
Like,
Let me
like-
work.
Like, dude, please, I'm begging you. Like the
no,
fucking
and
the
you're
cross country railroad's not happening, Pete. It's not happening, bro. Just
No.
please let the planes take off.
No, you work like not to sound like an ass, but I mean, like, you bust your ass working, and then you can't even get to some of your jobs sometimes. And it's like, it's insane.
Yeah, and then they gaslight you and they say things are better than ever. This is the best economy ever. I can't wait for this debate. How many times they're going to talk about this? The best
It's the
economy
best.
ever.
Isn't it the
It's
best?
the best economy ever. But look at this stat if you can, Chris. I don't know if you pulled up the right one, but if you can, there was Wall Street Journal just published a lie. So our Fed has been lying, and it turns out they showed that Trump was slightly better than Biden in real
Just
household income over his 4 years compared to Biden's. But then they adjusted it for inflation. And net household income over the last 4 years is negative. The average household, for the first time since the 1920s, the average household has less average income over a 4-year span than it did when it started.
Yep.
So, there's nothing else that really matters. It
No.
doesn't matter that the stock market's all the way up because people can't afford groceries. They're definitely not buying NVIDIA. You understand? We were at the country club. I was pitching this thing, trying to get movie
the
money
country
from.
club.
Yes.
Ooh, fancy. What
Yes.
color of you?
No, yes, how do it?
Oh,
So we were at the country club. I was a guest trying to steal some of these rich people's money to make a movie.
Stop doing that to us.
Yes, sorry. And we got into this debate, and the guy's like, I just don't understand what everybody's complaining about. Every time I try to get a seat in a restaurant in Boca, it's packed out. I gotta wait. All the restaurants are full. The economy's better than ever. I'm making more money than ever in the stock market. And I'm looking at this old motherfucker like, you haven't bought groceries in a decade. You've got people for that. You have no
Oh, yeah.
concept of what it's
Oh,
like down
yeah.
here in the real world.
Yeah.
You have no idea. He's looking down from the ivory tower going, you're all pretty fat to be complaining. What's going on down there? If you were starving, I'd be able to see it. And you sit here going like, this is how it happens.
Yeah.
This is how it happens. This is how things like France happen. This is how things where there are parents that are working. They're not lazy. They're not derelict. They're working their ass off. They're working 2 jobs, both of them. And then you sit here and you say, okay, I want to raise forget the ideology that I want my wife, the woman that I love, the woman that I believe in. I want her raising my kids because I trust her to raise my children the right way. She's got to get a job. So now we got some lunatic who wants to be around kids, raising our kids all day.
Yeah.
Our kids are learning life lessons and values from them 8 hours a day and not us.
Yeah.
And now we have to work, and then we come home and we have no money because we have to pay for that childcare.
Yeah.
Gerard, did we just agree on something?
Oh, it's about time. Welcome to the winning column. I mean, shit. So
No, from like a American traditional household structure kind of thing. How sad is it that you will pay another woman to raise your children while your wife works for another man's company?
See, that's the thing. I don't think I would. I think that it would be remarkably. It's not important to me that my mom worked 2 jobs growing up. My mom's a worker, and I didn't grow up. I didn't have money growing up, but we made it, and we made it good. And our parents worked, and they were great, but they were very loving, and they made a lot of time for us. And there's no amount of money in the world that would be worth. There's no vacations. There's no nice clothes or nice cars that would be worth the time that I spent with my family. Nothing.
Agreed.
And I do think that somewhere along the line we kind of fucked. Now I do blame women. Because like you said, the reason why you
For
have
what?
you have to get a new
For what?
you have to get a new dress every day. That's women. And
You
I
want
think
us to look good or you want us to look fucking haggard?
you guys have a very weird competition with one another. Like you guys just don't leave well enough alone. Oh, she's got that house. I got to get a bigger house.
See,
Oh,
I'm
she's got
actually
that
not
car. She's
like
got
that.
a better.
No, that's the one thing I will say. The things that I like are the things that I like.
Yeah.
Now are
What kind
they
of car you
cheap?
drive?
Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, however, though, it's because I like it. It's not because it's to up the next person or it's
We're not
because
trying to keep up with the Joneses.
no.
You don't have
Also-
to. You feel like you're winning the race. What happens when you don't
We
feel like
are
you're winning the
that's
race?
not true. That's
You are.
not-
You don't have to keep up with
No,
the Joneses
that's
when
not
you
true.
are the
I think it's
No.
also just how we were brought up. It's kind of like at this point, it's almost like going backwards, right?
Yeah.
And I won't go backwards. And
We could all agree on this. Work hard, play hard.
right.
We love to work hard, but we want the results. Like
Sure,
in
but
this
yeah.
economy.
I guess the definition of play hard is different for me. Like, and I know you were joking before, but like, vacationing in the south of France as opposed to going to your daughter's soccer games and, Prince George, Maryland. I don't think, I don't think that, I think that for some reason we've been told that this was some massive sacrifice, but it's not. Like, I don't see it that way. The older I get, I don't see it that way. I'm like, who really gives a shit? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
It depends. I mean, for me, I'm not the type of person, to be honest. If I get married, wonderful. I don't really want kids, and those things don't excite me. I don't like the fact that, you know, a soccer game or a softball game or a baseball game, whatever. I mean, like, I if I have kids, of course I will love
mhm,
doing that.
mhm.
But I don't know if that's my thing in life. I mean, I like and trust me, the South of France is wonderful,
Yeah.
but nothing is more important to me than if my parents fly down to Florida and just like we do a weekend in Florida, like that's special to me.
Correct.
That is the best.
But
And good friends. Those are the things that I enjoy.
so let me play devil's advocate with you for a
Okay.
second, because
But South of France on a yacht is wonderful.
okay. So I felt the same way. Probably when I was your age, I felt the same way. But like what you just said, think of that in the inverse, right? Your parents fly down to hang out with you, and how great is that?
Great.
What happens when you're their age? Who's flying down to see you? Are you still gonna be on
I've
the
considered
yacht at
that.
60 years
I
old?
have- I
Are you
have-
still gonna be clubbing in the mid 50s? Like,
Most likely not. I really hope that I am, but
Mhm.
I probably won't be.
yeah.
But I have took that into consideration, and to be honest with you, yeah, like I just still don't feel like I kind of want kids.
No, I
because
totally
of
get it.
that.
I didn't want kids. I knew I wasn't gonna have kids until about 2 years ago, and I don't know, like something happened to me. Like I got
That's
my
the other
period
thing.
and I
I'm
felt
a
it. I was like,
certain
oh, I
age
want
right
kids.
now. I mean, my opinions might change in 3 years. They
Yeah.
might change in 6 months.
But this is the fucked up thing for women.
Oh no.
this is
the
the-
time.
Well, now, right? So women get told. I feel like now here we go. I'm gonna go all Andrew Tate on you guys. Women get told by other women who maybe didn't live enough. They got married young. My mom got married at 22, had me at 23, and it's always a situation of like, get out, see the world, right? And you have a great guy, let's say at 23, right? And you're like, I'm not ready to settle down yet. So you kind of break it off, or you self-sabotage. Then you got a great guy at maybe 27, 28, and you're like teetering. You're like, is it time now?
I've done that, and I'm doing it now.
Sure. But now from the guy's perspective, it becomes, we're waiting. Okay, I'll marry her, and then she's 30, and then wait. I go out to the bar, and I could still get a 25-year-old. Like, wait a
I'll be
minute
honest
here.
with you, and I'm sure you have a different opinion than I do, and this is gonna sound corny, but I'm really I trust God. And like, if I'm meant to be married, I'll be married. If I'm
Mhm.
not meant to be married, I won't be. If I'm meant
Mhm.
to have kids, I will have kids. I mean, I think it's all in God's hands. And I'm also the type of person that like I'm very go with the flow. So whatever happens for me, like I'm okay with.
Understood. I'm not trying to come at you. I'm just.
However,
I'm
though,
just.
like,
I
do I
enjoy this
want-
conversation
Do
from
I
a philosophical
do
perspective.
I want kids? No, like I don't think I do,
Mhm.
unless I could also afford like a nanny, a condo, and a Range Rover also.
Do you think? Now, here's what's interesting. Do you think I think you should have kids?
Do
Do
what?
you think I believe you should have kids?
I believe that you think I should.
What do you think?
I don't care. I could spend my whole
I
life.
didn't ask if you
Goodwill
cared. I asked
hunting.
what you thought. I asked what you
care
do.
less.
Do you think that in this
Yeah,
conversation
I
that we
think
had?
you think that that's what we're here on this earth to do, but that's honestly, I really think whatever's everyone has
Hey
their
Gerard,
own.
you might get ungats
It's
from
your
us.
life. It's your
Christian,
life. It's your
Christian,
life.
no,
Do your
no,
thing.
I'm gonna prove a point in a second. Christian, in this conversation, do you think I think that they should have kids?
I don't think you think they should. I just think you're bringing up points that you previously experienced yourself. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I'm sure
So
it'd be
when I've
nice.
had these conversations, women hear what I'm saying as, you should have kids. You should have kids. Why don't you have kids?
No, I don't think
But
that.
what I'm saying is society, especially non-traditionalist, new age mentalities,
You think I'm new age?
new age mentalities,
Ooh.
Ooh la la.
they try to go ahead, hit it. They try to dissuade people from the idea of kids. I don't care if you have kids or not. It's your
Yeah.
call. But make sure it's your call. Make sure it's
Mhm.
not about living this never land, I'm never going to get old, party forever fantasy
No.
that is unfulfilling. That I believe, if we're going to get into my crazy, I think it's a coordinated part of depopulation to make women not want to have kids, not want to have families, because the rich are having kids, the rich are having families.
Yeah.
They just don't want the poors out there, out here running around.
I think it all depends for me, but at this point in time, I don't think it has anything to do with like any ideas that people are pushing up. I think it's just a me thing.
Sure.
Um,
Chris, read out.
Sorry
I know
our
we're running a
biological
little.
clock isn't ticking like this. Maybe this episode is, but like.
Well,
it's in
but
God's
here's the
hands,
thing. I mean,
man.
I'm gonna put a pin in that and come back to you in about 6 years when that clock's going ba boom, ba boom, ba boom, and we're gonna be like, okay. I'm gonna be like, okay. I tried to tell you. The if there's any comments, go ahead and read them out.
I got one from Casey Dillard. Biden's transportation secretary has been quoted saying that he wants to eliminate air travel and has already asked the airlines to reduce numbers of flights because of FAA attrition.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, when people tell you who they are, believe them. I mean, he ran on a climate extremist policy and became the transformation secretary. And then his first thing that he did was take 9 months off to recover his pussy when he needed to, take his patriarchal fucking, what was it? Maternity leave, paternity leave. So yeah, these people don't want, the reason gas, like they can make gas cheaper anytime they want, because they do. They empty the reserves and they lower the tariffs every time there's an election. So that we have $4 gas because they want people driving electric cars. They've done nothing to increase the energy grid, but they want people driving electric cars. And now 50% of all people who have bought an electric car within the last 2 years want to go back to what they call an ICE vehicle now. Have you guys seen this new thing?
Oh, yeah.
It's called an ICE vehicle.
What the fuck is an ICE
An
vehicle?
ICE vehicle? You know what? Go ahead.
Internal combustion engine.
Internal combustion engine. And we're in the marketing wars. We don't call them gas-powered vehicles anymore. They're ICE vehicles, internal combustion engine vehicles.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So 50% want to come back. And again, this just goes to show, like, again, like, everybody wants to save the world, man. Everybody wants to save the world. But when you lunatics take it to the extreme, like, there's nothing that did worse for the environment than the paper straws. Now I don't give a shit. I hope every turtle on earth dies as long as I never have to fucking have a paper straw ever again. I used to care. Now I don't. Never again.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
You know, like
I'm
sucking
so
on the
with you
soggy
on that.
straws.
No. First time I
Oh, you see one goddamn video, and
What, Huck 2
the
or
plastic
whatever?
straws are
What
gonna
video?
end everything.
What video?
We like the turtle with the straws up its nose.
Yeah.
Like, it's
yeah.
I did that when I was 22.
Yeah. By the way, that's legal in Oregon. I believe it's Washington State. Cocaine is legal now, but plastic bags and plastic straws are not.
How are you supposed to do anything?
You got to get a hemp bag and carry it back like this. You just carry it, just
Hemp?
little. Yeah.
Does it work through paper straws?
There's only one way to find out. Let us know next week. Real quick, the debate. I know we're running a little late here. Thanks, Chris. The debate. You got Trump, you got Biden. Is there anything you're excited to hear about in this debate, or have you heard it all before, girls?
No, I want to know when the illegals are going back.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I'm gonna do a drinking game every time a little fumble over some words happen. I'm gonna take a shot.
Oh, you think
Or
Biden's gonna fumble on some
what do you
words?
think?
No, I think they're gonna.
I think he's just gonna fumble. Period.
I
Is he
don't-
juiced up good?
Oh,
What do they have him
let me
pumped
let me
with?
tell you, you would do well to not underestimate Joey B. This guy's half a dummy, and he's got 50 years in politics bullying these nerds. They're gonna put a time release 8-ball up his asshole, and it's just gonna, every 20 minutes there's gonna be another gram just
Let me
pops
tell
out, and he's
you.
gonna boot it, and he's gonna, whoa, hey man, like,
Oh,
come
no.
on, man.
Yeah,
That's what's
he's
gonna
good.
happen.
He's juiced up good. I have my money on a 6'5" I don't know, blue-eyed felon. That's what I always.
Is that
have-
right?
That's always
Ooh,
what I have my money.
trust
on.
6'5",
fund.
blue-eyed felon.
Trust
Is Trump
baby.
6'5"? Is Trump 6'5"?
Whatever. He's tall.
You know, he
He's
would
a New
probably tell you.
Yorker.
He would probably
Real
tell you he was
estate.
6'5".
I'm
yeah.
into it.
Whatever.
Real estate mogul. You love it. Yeah, I'm 6'5".
He's a felon.
Everybody knows he is a felon. He's a convicted
That's my
felon.
He's a
type.
convicted felon. I think they know how to debate.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you guys like, see, to me, I don't think there's anything we're going to learn about either of them that we don't already
No.
know. I don't know why we're still doing debates. Like, why can't we have them go against each other in Jeopardy or something? Like, you know, like why are we doing a debate? Like, can't we have these guys like do double
Oh, I
dare?
would love to see them do
You know?
Jeopardy. That's good.
Wouldn't like shouldn't we
That's
see them
good.
like do a 40-yard dash or something like that and see like exactly what we're working with here? Maybe
Who could pull the most bitches?
what I would like to see
No.
is both of them get a chair from IKEA and nothing but one of those Allen wrenches to put it together, and whoever puts the chair together first is the What if we just put them both on stage, Chris, and we brought out a labradoodle, and whoever the labradoodle liked, we're like, that's the one.
Brilliant.
That's good.
That's the
I'm
one.
into it.
the
Let's
energy,
do it.
like wherever the dog.
I
The
think
dog
we
knows.
should be in charge. Who's in charge of these debates?
The Jews.
Right on.
No, and by that I mean the heads of
Okay.
CNN, like not the actual, like the person. Anyway, see you later, YouTube. It was nice being on you. Meow, meow. Anyway, girls, tell everybody where they can find you. This was fantastic. I hope you had fun.
Yes, we did. Thank you so much for having
Oh,
us.
my
Thank
pleasure,
you.
my
We had a
pleasure.
blast.
Have you back again. Tell them where they can find you, man.
White Collar Kids on Instagram, Spotify, wherever you find your podcasts. I'm Amanda Merlot. This is Meg Merlot.
Yes.
All right, you
Thank
got
you,
it.
Gerard.
You
Thank
got
you
it.
for-
Gerard Michaels, Gerard versus Evil. We're going to be coming to you at least twice a week for the next few weeks. Please,
Woo.
if you like this, check out tellerx.com. That's tellerx.com. Use code SNT for 20% off. Listen, when you go in with your little Saturday morning bumps and bruises, you don't want to look the doctor in the eye. And then after the doctor writes the prescription, you don't want to look that pharmacist in the eye. Telehealth is the wave of the future. It'll save some money in your pocket, and it'll save some of your pride and dignity. Go to tellerx.com. That's TELYRX.com. Use code SNT and tell them that Gerard sent you. For the great